The best way I can explain what you're about to watch is by showing you scenes from the opening credits, scored with Johnny Cymbals' Hey Mr. Bassman.
Hey Mr. Bassman.
It's nothing more than two prepubescent boys playing in front of a camera, creating a variety show about two characters they play in a 7-film espionage war film series entitled Warstorm, because we open on tonight's special episode. From 2004, Luke and Juke the Movie. Part 1.
Let's watch some TV!
Now, if you've never seen Warstorm, the Jimmy and Chris comedy spectacular, allow me to give you some context. Luke and Juke are brothers. The movie details 4 days of their life in vivid detail.
I hate the credits. Change the channel, Juke.
The following 4.5 minutes consist of the brothers reacting to various 70s TV show themes, culminating in what is sure to be the next song stuck in your head for the rest of the day. Juke is repeatedly watching the scene where Shrek and Donkey arrive in the lordship of Duloc. Face.
You know what happens, Juke! You know what happens! They haven't said anything different for the past 18 times!
Finally, Luke snaps. Luke tells Juke he needs to take the movie back to Blockbuster because their
Fine is over $100!
Yeah, it's all become too much for Luke. Ultimately, Juke bets on the future and keeps the disc to infinitely repeat in their house. This is good.
I'm going to the store. Do you remember what happened last time you drove?
I've heard stories that the director is really proud of that. In case you missed the text because you were looking at that Space Jam wall clock, it was letting you know that the Blockbuster return policy is to return your item by 12 noon. While cleaning up, Luke finds a tape that's
due today.
This sets off a montage of Luke avoiding obstacles on his way to return the movie as the Raiders March plays. When we finally catch up with Juke, he's running from the garbage man on his way to a location.
Crazy garbage man. I think this is the place. We're gonna have to check.
He enters the building to the Cheers theme, signifying that this is a bar.
Sometimes you wanna go.
We're shown the daytime regulars as Juke heads over to the bartender.
Welcome to Chim Chim. Would you like a soda or a whore?
Are those the only two things they have?
I mean beer. I said beer in case any cops ask. Beer.
Juke orders 2 sodas.
You're fine. What do you want? We got Pepsi, we got that, we got 7, we got Mountain Dew, we got Gatorade, what do you want? 2 Mountain Dews. Okay.
The bartender gives Juke the 2 Mountain Dews.
That's a Mountain Dew. We got Mountain Dew. We got asking for 2 pops.
You get the bit. The bartender agrees to let all of this go, if Juke agrees to buy.
Moonshine.
After a long negotiation, the bartender gives Juke the 2 Mountain Dews, only to be told.
2 7-Ups.
Finally, the bartender snaps.
Ah! Oh, I know what you asked for!
During a full-blown crisis, the bartender chases Juke out of the bar. A visual gag-filled chase ensues to a metal song that I've never known the name of. If you happen to know the name of this, please leave it in the comments below. Finally, the bartender incapacitates himself, and Juke runs away. Next is a TV break from America's Most Wanted.
I'm Jack Meathoff. This is America's Most Wanted.
Jack begins to tell the story of a serial killer.
He's known only as Baseball Head.
Juke finally gets home to an upset Luke.
You've been gone for an hour. I was only gone for 30 minutes. I know, I just got here too.
After a humorous back and forth, we find out the reason that Luke is actually mad
'Cause it's taking so long to cook my Hot Pocket.
is because it's taking too long to cook his Hot Pocket.
2 minutes, my ass.
Yeah, it's not going to get any better than this. But if you made it this far, make sure you give it a thumbs up and hit that that subscribe button. Luke then asks Juke if he remembers the time that he tried speed back in high school.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, it's not going to get any better. But you gotta finish it. You made it this far. The brothers, finally back together, catch up out in front of the house in classic King of the Hill fashion. You get the gag. At Sam's Deli, an urban cowboy appears to be ordering lunch for the entire construction site.
Coffee, and I'm doing another coffee, it's more for your jerky, gotta have a Slim Jim.
Again, you get the gag.
And we go through another salad down there, Jojo. Jojo loves his salads, but we're not gonna get one. Like Jojo, he's like, good.
Luke finally gets to the counter and orders.
Next. Turkey and a pound of ham.
Well, we reach the next day, and we catch up with Luke, who's throwing darts. Juke catches up with Luke in the garage.
Juke, there you are. You were on your morning run. Why, yes, I was. And you know what's weird? I saw a man walking down the sidewalk with the baseball head.
Juke doesn't realize he's just caught a glimpse of the elusive serial killer, Baseball Head.
Get $10 million for turning him in.
Juke is shocked.
What are you, stupid? We should turn him in.
Luke disagrees because of his YouTube conspiracy theory.
That's silly. That's just a government scam to raise our phone bills up.
As Juke is going for a drink, he remembers a time that him and Luke tried to earn some extra money.
Hey, Luke. Remember that one time we had to earn some extra money for mowing yards?
Thinking back on the time...
Oh, yeah. Good old Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson, do you have any yards for us to mow? As a matter of fact, boys, I do have a yard you guys can mow.
The original music under this scene was from The Passion of the Christ. Naturally, I can't play that, but I'm going to substitute with new music because this gag still holds up. As you can see, Mr. Thompson is clearly an especially because he's only been offering.
How about $10 a piece?
Back in the present time, Luke is slinging some iron as Juke enters the room.
One.
Luke then asks Juke if he's ever had a sleepover.
Have you ever had a sleepover? I don't think we ever had a sleepover.
The two agree to set up a sleepover the following night.
Do it tomorrow.
They immediately begin planning to Fontella Bass's Rescue Me. Making lists, calling potential guests, being turned down by potential guests. They eventually wind up with a list of 1 yes and 6 no's. This leads to them calling every name in the phone book, which only results in 7 more people agreeing to come. After all the party planning, the two brothers decide to take on some yard work to the theme song from On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Which, as we all know, is a banger of a theme to a complete stinker of a film. This all leads to another visual gag. Well, tomorrow is the big day, and the sleepover that they've been waiting hours for is finally upon them. Will Baseball Head make an appearance? Will Kyle succeed in his advances on Luke? Will we ever find out what this guy ate? Come back next week for the conclusion of Luke and Juke, the movie.
Well, I'm getting out of here. I don't want to die. No!
Thank you for joining me tonight. Please give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed the film. And remember to subscribe so you don't miss the next installment of Colin Harris Presents. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful night.